Hello, my name is Lisbeth Olsen, and this is my digital lesson design OA1. In this assignment, I have chosen to use the poem The Eagle by Alfred Tennyson. I'm going to work with it in 8th grade, where there are 10 pupils. The poem goes like this. He claps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands, ringed with the azure world he stands. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls, he watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls. I have chosen this poem because it's short and the pupils will find it affordable to work with. The end rhymes will also be helpful when it comes to the reading and learning of the poem. From the competence aims in LK06 after year 10, I have chosen language learning. The pupil shall be able to use different situations, working methods, and learning strategies to develop one's English language skills. Oral communication. The pupil shall be able to use the central patterns for pronunciation, intonation, word inflection, and different types of sentences in communication. Written communication. The pupil shall be able to write different types of texts with structure and coherence. From this I have made 3 specific learning goals. 1. The pupil shall be able to read a poem with pronunciation and intonation. 2. The pupil shall be able to talk about the content and the structure in a poem. 3. The pupil shall be able to write their own poem. How to work with a poem. On the basis of the competence aims, I have chosen to focus on language learning by 1. Reading and writing the poem, 2. Word explanations, 3. Drawing, 4. Discussion of content and theme, 5. Grammar, 6. Poetic structure, 7. Rhythm and beats, 8. The pupils will write their own poem. 1. Reading and writing the poem. I will introduce the poem by writing it on the blackboard, and the pupils have to write it down themselves. According to Hessnes, the pupils will learn words easier when they write them themselves. Then I will read the poem several times because it will help the pupils with their pronunciation learning. Now we are going to read it together in choir. This will help the pupils who are not feeling comfortable with reading aloud because they might be afraid of reading wrong. At last in this lesson, the pupils are going 2 and 2 together and read the poem to each other. 1 line each, and then switch so they make sure that both of them have been reading the whole poem. Word explanations. We will now look at the words in the poem. Are there any words that the pupils do not understand? I think there will be. It is important that they understand the words so they can be able to understand the content of the poem. Drawing. The pupils will draw something from the poem. According to Hessnes, it is good for the pupils to be able to use their creativity when they are working with language learning. The drawings can be used to decorate the classroom together with the poem. Content and theme. Discussion of content and theme. The class split into 2 groups where they discuss the content and the theme of the poem. Afterwards, I will write the suggestions they come up with on the blackboard. We have a discussion in whole class and I will point out that there will be not one answer. It is important for the language learning that everybody have opportunity to come up with their suggestions. Grammar. Working with grammar will help the pupils to understand the language better, and it will help them a lot in language learning. We will now work with the adverbial of time and also look at the conjugation of verbs. Here I have only used the first stanza, but when I'm going to work with it in school, I'm going to use both stanzas. He claps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands, ringed with the azure world he stands. Here we have claps, a present verb, crooked and ringed, outright past verbs. And we have also adverbial of time. He stands. In Norwegian we say står han. This can be useful for the language learning for the pupils. Poetic structure. To focus on the rhymes will help the pupils when they are going to write their own poems later. In this poem we have 3 words that rhyme in each stanza. Hands, lands, stands in the first, and crawls, walls, and falls in the second. Rhythm and beat. To clap or beat the rhythm with 4 beats to each line when we read the poem will help the pupils with pronunciation and intonation. He claps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands, ringed with the azure word he stands. Writing a poem. Now it is time for the pupils to write their own poem. First, we have a brainstorming together where we find rhyme words. This will help them when they are going to work on the vocabulary. Then the pupils are going to pick or find 3 words that rhyme and write a poem of their own. I will recommend them to write about an animal or another bird than the eagle. This will maybe make the writing easier. When they have finished writing the poem, they will switch it with a classmate, and they are going to give feedback on form, rhyme, and atmosphere. They will use 2 stars and 1 wish in this work. Here I have to supervise the pupils to make sure that they are communicating in a good way with each other. The pupils will finish their poems at home, and we will make a collage of them in the classroom. Thank you.